Hi everybody, we're going to start today's first video lecture. We're going to be talking about the scientific method. We're also going to be talking about observation and inferences and the differences between them. We're probably going to split this whole lesson into 2 or 3 videos. You may be able to watch all of them at once, you may want to stop and take some time between them. So first, what is science? Science is a way for us to answer questions and a way for us to investigate and understand the natural world. So we're going to do that through experiments. So experiments are going to help us answer questions. They're going to help us investigate and understand what's going on around us. And then once we have that information, they'll provide a way for us to make predictions. So the scientific method, what we're talking about here is something that began about 400 years ago with somebody named Galileo. And the scientific method is the method scientists use to conduct experiments. So what it's going to do is it's going to provide a series of steps that scientists follow for every experiment that they conduct in order to make sure that their methods are the same and they get as accurate of results as possible. We can also think of it as a way of thinking, and it's going to provide us understanding through the observations that we make and through doing experiments. Some key terms you're going to have to know. If you want, you might want to take some time and pause the video here and copy down the definitions of these. So our first is observation. That's going to be gathering information using the 5 senses. So if it's something you can see, smell, hear, taste, or touch, then that's an observation, and that's information. Our next is an inference. An inference is a little different. It's a logical conclusion based on your prior knowledge. So I have an example of an inference written here. It says, if I touch the top of the stove when the oven is on, it will be hot. So, based on your prior knowledge, since you've probably used an oven before, you know that when you turn it on, the top of the stove gets hot. That's a good educated guess about what you think is going to happen, but maybe you just turn the oven on, maybe it hasn't had time to heat up the top of the stove, so we can't be sure. And our last one is data. You should all be familiar with that, and that's information. So we're going to do a quick comparison between observation and inference. You see we've got a girl right here in this picture, and she's crying. You could make all kinds of observations about her. She's holding a blanket. She has green, looks like shirt or dress on, brown hair. So on and so forth. The observation that we're going to go with today is that the girl is crying. So because we used our sense of sight to observe the girl crying, this is an observation, it's not an inference. So moving on, an inference. Why could she be crying? It could be any number of reasons. But for this, I'm going to say the girl is sad. So I know that people cry when they're sad, so that could be a reason that the girl is crying. But because we can't see sadness, we don't know. So she could be crying for any number of reasons. Maybe she skinned her knee, she could be hurt, or she could even be happy. There could be a number of reasons why she's crying. So it's important that you know the difference between observation and inference. We're going to go ahead and stop this video here, and we're going to pick up with the steps of the scientific method here in a minute.